Worried about mom or dad falling? The Symphony Medical Alert System from CVS Health helps make their home safer, even if you can't be there. Symphony works with voice activation or a care button they can opt to wear, along with smart sensors for coverage around the home. With 24/7 emergency response and an app to tie it all together, you can monitor your loved one's well-being for enhanced peace of mind. Terms and conditions apply. Learn more about Symphony at cvs.com/symphony or find it at your nearest CVS Health Hub.
If you're intrigued by the mysteries of the unknown, you can investigate thousands on Discovery Plus. With exclusive originals and a scary big collection of favorites, Discovery Plus is the streaming home of paranormal classics like Ghost Adventures and Ghost Brothers, plus new originals like Amityville Horror House. Uncover hidden secrets and explore otherworldly realms for just $4.99. Discovery Plus is the streaming home of paranormal, plus so much more. Start your free trial.
Yeah, you got to make sure everybody leaves happy. And
Yes,
he
sir.
was asking some aware questions, and we wanted to make sure that of that. Abby, is that lipstick? All right there, Abby. Okay.
I just decided to look a little spruced up this morning, just because it's a Monday morning.
That's how money gets made. You just
Ooh.
yes. I remember getting dressed in a suit and standing up to do cold calls when I first started building this company.
Wow.
Nobody could see me, but standing up was my energy, and the suit made me feel good.
Yes, sir.
That's how I did it. That's how I did it. Yep, that was back in 2009. That's how I did it. I accidentally taught myself cold calling. It's not what I was trying to do. I put an ad in a free paper here in the Galveston County area, and about 400 calls were coming in a day.
Wow.
And I didn't know what to do, so I had to learn. I'm pretty sure I ruined the first 3,000 calls. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. But by then, making money over the phone wasn't hard. I used to have the big phone fear like everybody else. The phone was 1,000 pounds, and then that happened. But yeah, no, last night's call was great. Actually, today's meeting is going to be a more myopic. I never know how to condense that word. It means narrow viewed, but I never know a word to someone give me a word besides the SAT word myopic. I don't know one. It's just I'm going to go a little small microscopic view, maybe. I don't know. Whatever. Microscopic doesn't really work there. But fantastic if you had to leave. It was 33 people on the call. By the time it was done, an hour overtime, it was 29 people on the call. So, all the people left were it was midnight, for them. That's all. Jerome, you supposed to say something?
No, you good.
Okay, good. No. You good. You keep it unmuted. I like the noise in the background. Good morning, Justin. Good morning. Now, just one fire thing about last night. Two fire things. I have no problems with questions because we're transparent, but he was asking honest, genuine questions, and I could tell he had been wounded. How many of you've been wounded by MLM? Don't fool me now. Don't fool me. We've all been sold that dream, only to have our friends and families go, again? Really? What you doing now, Tony? What you selling now? I'm not doing it. Exactly. But the most important thing I want you, and I guess this is for my strategic thinkers, every now and then you have to fight a battle that crushes more than the battle ahead. Are you all familiar with the movie? Well, it's a book. The book was better, but that's how it normally is. Ender's Game. Familiar with that? All right.
Love it.
Man, fantastic book, incredible movie. Now, the reason why books are always better than the movies, it's not that Hollywood just messes stuff up. It's the book allows you to use your perfect imagination. When someone in Hollywood does it, it's their perfect imagination, and people don't like other people thinking for them. That's all it is, really. Okay, that's all it is. That's why. And sometimes it's terrible, but that's what is going on. In this game, there's a section where the young man is in training, and he beats the crap out of one bully. I mean, overbeats him. It was terrible. It was terrible. And when he's getting ready to get suspended or whatever, expelled, they asked him to defend himself. He said, well, I did that because the bully had 4 friends. And I wanted to fight all those battles with the one battle. Now, none of them would mess with me again because I fought all those battles through that one. And that is kind of what I did last night. Not the battle with Mr. Pierre, but it was the battle with you. Okay? You didn't necessarily know how to answer I've been wounded questions. Is this the same thing as I've been wounded by? Okay, right? You didn't know. Therefore, I took the time to address them publicly. But what I really wanted to do was show all of you we have no reason, and please hear what I'm saying, we have no reason to be afraid or ashamed. We are confusing because this doesn't exist. People are not going to catch on to what we're doing until they write books about us. I just need you to get that we are Netflix doing mail-in DVDs. We are Disney making cartoons. We're just something that never happened before. It's just hard to understand. Go ahead, Jerome.
Antonio, I have not been fired up about this until last night. And when I went to bed last night, I was like, that was an amazing call. That was an amazing exchange. I woke up this morning and I remember what you told me the other day. You said, Jerome, just tell them to follow you. And I said, Antonio just gave me the blueprint to reach out to all those people I talked to before without explanation and say, open the hood, kick the tires, take it for a drive, put your credit card away. Because when you decide that this is what you need, you're already going to be there. You're going to already sign. I ain't even worried about you. And I said, that's all I got to do. I ain't got to sell nothing. But tell them, you've been with me for 20 years. You've been with me for 30 years. You know I never pressure anybody to do anything. Put your credit card away. Look underneath it. I said, now some of y'all going to sign up, and I'm going to give you the link, okay? And I'm going to get paid. But the rest of y'all, boom, boom. I'm going to do that before the day's out. Mm-hmm. I'm going to reach out to all of them because I say when I start, I want them to start too. Say, I would just say, I'll wait till after we get started. No, I'm not. Because if she was on the other foot, Antonio, guess what I want them to do for me? Yo, we about to do something ain't nobody doing.
That's right.
Nobody. You ain't going to figure. I'm telling you right now. Here's the link for next week. If they change it, I'll send it to you. If not, you need to be on next week's call at 10 o'clock. Right. Hello.
That's
Come
right.
on now.
That's right. That's right.
One page. I'm going to keep it simple. But you fired me. The way you dealt with Pierre, Antonio, I'm telling you right now, it wasn't the other stuff. It was the way because I said, Jerome, you know a lot of Pierres out there who need to open up that hood, kick them tires, check that tire pressure, take that thing for a test run and go, wait a minute. They got real classes here. Wait a minute. That's valuable. Wait a minute. There's something to this thing.
That's right.
Hello.
That's right. Perfectly said. Perfectly said. And most of y'all are going to deal with the honorable Pierres out there. I handled them very gently. There was no, there was no problem for me. For one, I'm built for confrontation, even though he wasn't confrontational. So none of that stuff bothers me. But he was just being, he just had questions. He just had questions. And I can't stress this enough. He just had questions. And I didn't want to run from the questions. So we can do it right now. Right now. Hey, ain't no sense. But how many times do you get to ask a question and get an honest answer? So this was now I'm going to say this gently, but this was my problem with my first religious teachers. I would ask a question and they would tell me to shut up and have faith. And not shut up, but they would say, don't ask questions, have faith. they would still say don't ask questions, and I'm wrong for questioning. And that is not how you transform. It's not. It's just not how you transform. It's not how you transform. Before I give props to Deanna because I'm going to come back to what Law said. I'm going to give props to Deanna. I mean, what Jerome said, let me get Law real quick. Boy, I couldn't understand why Susan said Emmy, but now that I'm looking at you, I fully understand why Susan said Emmy. Yes, sir. Come on, put your fine self on this camera and brighten our day.
Stop making me feel so good about myself. I mean, the mirror did enough job, let me tell you. Now, I just wanted to, I wanted to add on to what Jerome was saying. I actually like the way that Jerome just pitched that. Put your credit cards away and take a look under the hood. Jerome, I think you got something there. I think I'm going to start leading with that and see how that goes. I think that was awesome. You put that very beautifully. Because the minute you ask someone to put their credit card in, they just get all kind of convulsions. And,
no doubt. I didn't even know. I think you make a good point. I when he said it, it felt real good to me, but I didn't process it until you just said it again. It's why when I had first, let me give Deanna her props. When I shared my screen last night and I just went, I was going through the freshman level. I just went to the daily meetings. I didn't realize Deanna did so much uploading. She's been uploading because I've been so busy. I remember scrolling to 104 and still had the capability to scroll. So COO, what a wonderful job you did. Okay. And this is how I always tell everybody, everything's connected. Had that not been there, then the wonderful proof of safety, right? That de-risking that happened last night for Pierre would not have been so well. I mean, just imagine you had 104 plus meetings on the humor consultants, private meetings. Just imagine how much you would feel better about starting your speaker business. Think about that for a second. Think about that. That's a big deal. It's a big deal. And a lot of that has been us building this. So shout out to you, Deanna. But just those daily meetings alone, I would pay $30,000 for. If Google was to say, forget Google, if a 6-figure business in my area was to say, man, listen, you give us $30,000. We'll let you sit in our meetings and see how we get to $300,000 a year. We'll even let you ask questions, and we'll let you steal everything we doing, and you can take it back to your business. Am I the only one that would pay for that in my area? And we way past 6 figures.
It almost sounds unbelievable, doesn't it?
Exactly.
That's why that credibility is so important.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Shout out to all of you who stayed far longer. I mean, even if you hopped off 30 minutes early, you're still an hour in. You're still an hour in. You're still an hour in. The call lasted 90 minutes. I think about 87 minutes. I got us out there about 3 minutes before the half hour. But I want you to just process the power of this no charge section that Phil has said, let me give you a scholarship. Okay. It is powerful because when I designed it, I was talking to Deanna. This is why I run things by her, and she liked it, but I didn't get that happy that she does when she likes stuff. She has this happiness about it. So when I said, well, let me pull some stuff over there that grows every month, then she got that happiness about her. These things grow every month. It's just, imagine signing up for something for free and it gains value every single month, and in some cases every single day, depending on the daily meetings. And for now, I have no intentions to close the daily meetings down. I don't know how long it's going to last because I'm kind of vibrating at the frequency of pain. Not that I'm in pain. I'm figuring out, okay, I'm kind of tapped into the collective consciousness of, can somebody please help us? And it's still stronger than ever. So it will still be available. And this will still be at no charge until the universe tells me otherwise. That may never happen. I may be building something that even I'm pretty sure I am, that I have no idea what I'm doing. And this open to the public transparency may be the start of a new type of capitalistic business. Who knows? That's not my intent, Jerry, but we all know that God does things that we ain't intending to do. You know, am I still right about that, Abby? Is that the way things work? You know, okay, good.
Yes.
Good. You know, so I mean, sometimes you plan on doing one thing and then it becomes something major because the universe knows the fastest, quickest, most harmonious way for Steve to get to where Steve wants to go. You know, so that's that. Now, yesterday I laid out a 4-point plan, and I'm going to read. Oh, go ahead, Phil. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, before you move on, transparency and authenticity is something people are craving for in today's world.
Amen.
Because of all the things we're dealing with. So when you run into something where people are authentic and they're transparent, it's just unique enough that people want to be involved, and simply for those reasons.
Again, that's what Law just did with Jerome, and I caught it the second time what Phil just did. I didn't process that to Phil, just slowed down time for me and let me process that. I think my goal, my new goal for all of you, as what just happened in my head as Phil was talking, is just go out there and be authentic and transparent. I don't want to give you a script. I can. You will have a foundation. You have a foundation. And in your back office, there will be plenty of foundations, but you just need to go serve people. Period. I don't want to look anything or feel, anything like an MLM. There are some really good things in theory that MLM does, as in paying people monthly, as in allowing you to get paid for leading people, like a what they would call a residual structure, having a compensation plan in the first place, okay? All that stuff. But the phrase compensation plan implies you have to do something outside of sharing a link. You know, it implies you have to meet certain quota. Like compensation plan says, it's implicit there. You must have a certain quota. And then when you get to this quota, then this thing unlocks. We don't have none of that. Ranks don't do nothing but show how much money Arshia is making. That's all they do. Okay? And I borrowed that from the NFL. The NFL is just pretty, or the NBA, they're pretty transparent about athletes contracts, and it makes everyone in the world wants to be an athlete. Okay. So when everybody figuring out that Arshia is making $45,000 a month, everybody going to want to be like her. Sounds good to me. Okay, sounds good to me. None of this stuff is supposed to feel bad. Okay, you go out there, you serve people. If you got to do that looking like the Emmys, the law, you do that. If you do it in basketball shorts, you do that. However you do it, serve people, because Earl Nightingale says there's two ways to make money. You make it in the mint, and Antonio says that's illegal if you're not actually in the mint. They call that counterfeit. And then he finishes and said, oh, you serve people. You can tell the quality of a neighborhood. Excuse me. You can tell how many people a neighborhood serves by the quality of that neighborhood. Period. My life is fantastic because I serve a lot of freaking people. This is what it is. Okay? This is what it is. Now, I laid out a 4-point plan. You should write all this down. And we're only going to focus on the first one today. And I'll break down each one, in the consecutive days, assuming that we have power. We missed a hurricane, Susan, and they got hit with a tropical storm. We're getting hit with a tropical storm right now. It makes no sense. Go ahead, Susan.
Yeah, I know. I've been following it.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, I have this tracker called Max Tracker, which is an app, Max Tracker. And it's a guy that retired here. His name was Max, who's expert genius. So it tells all the storms. That's why I gave Grace a little bit of a heads up there. Not sure what you guys were doing, how long we're staying up there. I knew you probably weren't watching things at that point. But anyway, now I forget what I was going to say, but it was something.
I was talking about plan, 4-point plan, and I'll come up with phase 1.
Well, when you said about what you said about the MLMs and
yes.
money and all that, and at the end of the day, and in all the years that we've been in business, and you think about the money you've made and the big ones where you make a lot of money, I don't think about those. I think about the relationships that we've built.
Facts.
And that is what that drives us to continue on. The relationships that we've built over the years and that we continue to have, and the people that remember us from 30 years ago or 20 years ago or 10 years ago and still have that good feeling about us. That's what's the most important. When you have that in the relationships, the money will come and continue to come.
Indeed. I when I think about when I was in the Army, the family I was adopted to, we're 3 years apart, my little brother, he's not my brother, he's my cousin. And I called back from the Army and I told him, his name is Terrell. I said, this is your senior year. What I want you to do is I want you to go, this is telling you how long ago this was, Susan. Go to Walgreens, get one of them cameras for $6, disposable cameras. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Hey, I still have stuff that I got to develop.
That's too funny.
They're in the drawers.
One of the disposable cameras, I say, take pictures. And I said, listen, you take as many pictures as possible. And every time somebody's taking a picture, you get in that picture. Because by the time you're me, which is just 3 years down the road, you're going to miss not school, but the people. I'm going through it right now. I'm off in some stupid, well, I can't tell you where I was, but I'm off in some place with the United States military. And this is what I miss. It's not school I miss, it's the people. So to your point, Susan, I absolutely agree with that. Absolutely agree with that. It is the people. It's definitely the people and the relations that you build. And that's really what's going to make you money in the first place. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really going to make you money. Really going to make you money, without a doubt. We have 4 total missions, y'all. 4 total missions. You should write this down. I've always said two. Lately, I've been saying the other two. Number one is to create 100,000 millionaires. And I'm going to tell you why you're writing this down and why you should, if you just say this, you'll be just fine. Number two, let the worst salesperson, or we want the worst salesperson to become a top income earner with us. Now that changes the whole organization, and that was so hard for me to figure out, and that is why I had to design my own software, because it was impossible without it. It was impossible without it. It just was. Number three is to end world hunger. And number four is to end the student loan debt or student debt loan. Which one, Susan? Student debt loan, student debt,
student loan debt.
There you go. Student loan debt crisis. There you go. I knew it was going to come out. Somebody was going to help me out. To end the student loan debt crisis. And these are worldwide things, okay? And all of these are worldwide. This isn't per country. This is for the world, okay? And let me just talk to my forward thinkers like Justin. I'm specifically focused on places like the UAE, United Arab Emirates, and Nigeria, Ghana, United Kingdom. I have strategic, expect me to want Turkey real soon. It's just common sense. I want Turkey like airports want Turkey. Why is that? Because Turkey is like the center of planet Earth. It really is. Geographically, it's the center of the earth. It just is. It's why if you do an international flight, you're probably going to stop off in Turkey. It's pretty much, okay? Now, those are your four goals. Remember that. Remember that, because I say this gently, if you just lead with that heart and that message, the right people will come. Okay? You don't want riffraffs. No offense. I don't know what to, I'm all for saving the whole world, but I can't do it with the whole world. Does that make sense to you? I want to love people back to wholeness, but everybody don't want to be loved back to wholeness. I can only pick a few Justins and some Marshias and some Steves. I can't do everything. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Jerome.
Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
You can't save everybody.
No.
You can want to save everybody, but you can't save everybody. And folks, I'm telling y'all right now, you're going to have to save some folks. God bless you. Nice knowing you. I got to go. But I got to go. I'm going to catch you later. Because I'm telling you right now, it's going to be more than you can handle. Because they're going to want you to sell them. They're going to want you to drag them. And then guess what that's going to do? Keep you from your destiny. Don't do that. Present the information, keep it moving. Present the information, keep it moving. Come on now. You can't save everybody.
Now, let me pause right there and let y'all know that's a baby boomer talking. You should probably listen to that. Okay? When a baby boomer tell you, stop wasting your time on some folk, that means he coming from a place, or she's coming from a place of experience. You should just go ahead and listen to that one. Okay, young folk? Because he wasn't talking to Steve and them. You understand? He talking to y'all. Okay? He talking to us. That was for you, Law. That was for me. Okay? All right. They know about some losses. Okay? We don't like listening, but we need to listen more. You understand? Steve can save us from a lot of mistakes if we just listen. Go ahead, Law.
Hey, Jerome, you just really giving out the nuggets this morning. I don't know what you ate, who you slept with,
woke
but
up on fire.
Look, I'm loving it. No, I absolutely agree. And that was actually my experience yesterday because my brother went to rehab again for the umpteenth time. And this time it didn't affect me as how it would. And he was a little emotional, but I think he was expecting like an embrace and you can do this. And I was like, I'm not doing that no more. We done been down this road too many times. If you feel that you have to do this for your own self, no hugs here, no tears here. You need to figure out your life. I'm done.
Which is why I'm all for saving the world. I just can't save it with the world. Okay, I need 100,000 people to help me make a difference. That's what I need. I'm gonna keep stressing that forever. Okay, keep stressing that. Now I laid so that's how 4 goals. I laid out a 4-step. Oh, go ahead, Phil. Go ahead.
Well, the Cliff Note, there's the old saying, never try to teach a pig how to sing. It frustrates you and annoys the pig.
Well, let's not go out there, y'all, and annoy pigs, okay? Let's not do that. Oh, Justin, they're telling me you had your mic unmuted.
Yeah, what I was saying is also, a strong man cannot help a weak man unless the weak man wants to be helped. And when you're doing something like what we're doing, a lot of people get attracted to the results of the flash. Once they get to the door, the work that has to be done and the sacrifice that has to be made to get it to the other side to see the flash, a lot is not going to fall through. And you might get some and then they're going to fall off and fall back. But that's just why we're the elite. I mean, if it was for everybody would have it silently. So you can't really, I've learned family members, friends, different walks of life are there for a reason. Like, people are doing their thing for a reason. Some people may work, some people may be entrepreneurs, some people may do whatever they do. And you click for a reason. But when it comes to doing what you do, not everybody's going to want to do the same thing. Or not everybody's going to put the same sacrifice in. So you can't have an emotional attachment to that. And I've learned from experience. Even last night I was thinking about it, because you'll be emotionally drained, physically drained, financially drained, spiritually drained, for somebody who's not feeling that same way about themselves. So until you change the mindset of the person, because wherever the mind go, the body will follow. Until you change the mindset of that person, they have to want it within themselves. They can't just want you and see Antonio on Forbes or see this or whatever the case is. They got to want to know what it took to get there, and they have to put in the sacrifice and time to do it. You can lead them there. The call is the first stop, but when it's starting to do business and everything else, it's a whole other ballgame. So you're going to get more people. We're going to get more people, but they're going to have to put in the work themselves. Mm-hmm. Everybody should not have the pleasure to have access. I've learned that a long time ago. Everybody should not have pleasure to have access to you until they reach to a certain level in business. And on social level, it's something else different. Because otherwise, you're going to be draining your energy with people who are not willing to put the same energy back into you.
Yeah. Y'all hear that? And that access, I had to learn that the hard way, Justin. Real talk. I had to push back my heart a little bit. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Sugar.
And it also, people are seeing your now, but they have no idea of your when and what it took for you to get to where you are. And even in Mark 6:11, it says, if there's anyone that will not receive you, listen to your words, listen to your instructions or directions, dust your feet off, use it as a testimony, and keep on stepping.
That's it. I tell you what it took. 24 years of me being called a fraud, a dreamer, a crook, stupid, divorce, 3 repossessions of cars, 5 houses lost. Okay, I didn't just lose a house. I lost 5 at one time building this company. Okay, that's a big lesson I had to learn about overcompensation, that you shouldn't spend money and get stuff if you can't handle when people let you down. Help me, somebody. Some of y'all car notes you shouldn't have in the first place. There's somebody in this network that I just told that you need to let that car go. Sure did. I did. Let me see if they're on right now. They're on right now. I said, you need to let that car go. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know I'm gonna try this car. Oh, I'm transparent with mine. That's all part of my journey.
Or Antonio, what you should do is stare them to the cash flow quadrant so they learn the difference between good debt and bad debt.
That's right.
That right there is the deciding factor of how you build wealth and how you not. I mean, sometimes circumstances put you in where you have to have good debt. You have to be running. You have to be doing different things.
It was definitely an uncontrollable circumstance. Trust me, believe that.
And I've been there. I've been there before. I've been there. Let me tell you what happened, man. Let me tell you what happened. Okay, it's real simple. You fool around, and let's just say what they'll do is they'll roll over two cars into one. Let me show you something. Who has had a trade-in to where they rolled over your old car note with your new car note? Don't fool me now. It should be more
Never
than
again. Never again.
All right. That's most of the people on this call. So you ain't by yourself, Chris. We all been through it. Y'all been through it. Trust me.
Antonio.
Yes, sir.
The car note is higher than the house note.
You understand.
Hello.
You understand.
Come on, man.
You understand. So we finna take care of my man, and we finna make sure he gets him a new car. You understand? With good debt, as Justin was saying. And then we're gonna be like, hey, y'all, you can come on, go ahead and go ahead and take that thing. Ain't nobody worry about that stuff.
Now, listen, Antonio, I went through the high car notes too before I knew better.
Me too.
I was the fool paying 18% interest, not knowing, because when you come from other areas, financial education, you don't really understand because nobody else is doing it.
I thought 18% was good, bro. I sure did.
So and especially you doing things you ain't got no business doing, or what I call the drug trade, not a drug dealer. You got a pocket full of money. You ain't worried about the interest because your money come in every day.
That's right.
You spend it, it come back the next day. So it don't make no sense because you don't have to hold on to it. And your mind is not focused on assets. Your mind is focused on looking like you got money to impress other broke people who trying to look like they got money. So one of my first loans for a car, it was the hood hookup, 18%. Ain't no better. Once I got, and I had good credit. Once I got my stuff together and started making real money and I ain't paid a 0.1% since.
Good stuff. Good stuff. That's, y'all see the clout, y'all in. Listen, forget yesterday. Right now, in this network, there are multiple millionaires, over 10. I'm talking about in Ricasa alone, okay, or just in here, and one billionaire. I mean, you got some stuff. How many would like to not pay 0.1%, on a car note? That would be fantastic, fantastic. I just don't even like car notes at this point. I just, I
haven't ever had one, so when I get down there, I don't plan on having one. Just letting you know that.
Well, I'm sure a car note in Texas is different than a car note in New York. I'm pretty sure. I
don't want one either way. I don't want one.
Okay, I feel that. I feel that.
If I could share something to the group, there's a thing called car hacking, and myself, and a lot of other people who are getting a lot of money. It's basically a way you can drive whatever you want without losing money. You have to learn how to buy it. It's almost like buying a wholesale house or...
Do you know how many files your employees have uploaded, downloaded, emailed, airdropped, slacked, or shared via Google Drive today? A lot of that data has left your organization, and you don't even know it. Visit code42.com to learn how Insider prevents data exfiltration.
Stand out from all the rest by becoming a CFA charter holder. As the investment industry evolves, professionals need the tools to evolve with it. When you become a CFA charter holder, you're not only developing real-world skills and expertise, you're demonstrating to employers that you have what it takes to thrive. In fact, more than 80% of those who earn the CFA charter say it boosted their career. Sound interesting? Go to CFAinstitute.org/learn to find out more about the Level 1 CFA exam.
A real estate owned property like a foreclosure. So if you learn how to buy the car, you don't lose money on it because the car is a depreciating asset. So a car note is a good thing because you get the tax benefits and you don't have to put out that money that you paid all that money for on an appreciating asset can be put into a house that can actually make you money.
That's right.
And how you'll do it is you'll buy a car with a couple of years on it. You figure the first year, the manufacturer sells the car to the dealer with about almost like $50,000 to $80,000 in markup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're buying it from the dealer with $80,000 up what the car is actually really worth. You drive it off the lot, the first year it loses its $80,000 because that was the dealer's profit. The second year, the car starts to really depreciate. By like the second and a half of the third year, that's what the car is really worth. So you can find one 2 years old with very low mileage, drive it for a year, and pay the same exact thing what you paid for it. Or even make money. And still get the tax write-off, still enjoy life, because life is made to be lived. It don't make no sense to be humble and small and cheap and you die. It don't make no sense. If you want a Porsche, go get a Porsche if you can afford it. If you want a Bentley, go get a Bentley if you can afford it. If you want a BMW, go do whatever you can do to afford it. But there's ways to do it as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as an employee, where you don't lose. The average person will go buy it with their paycheck money, with their W-2 paycheck money at that, and lose.
Don't do that, please. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Now, Justin's absolutely. Remember, Justin, millionaire, and before he got here, okay, I was with to Justin's point. I used to do W-2 buying, and then car hacking, like he said, is what I've been doing. But now I was talking to, and I took Chris and Deanna with me. I was talking to a billionaire friend of mine, and I'm fortunate to have a couple at this point. And this man taught me something, Jay, I never forget. I'm just never gonna forget this here about cars. He said, "Oh, I don't buy cars no more like that. I only buy the finest cars." And I'm thinking he's fit to say something like, "Oh yeah, a billionaire talk." He said, "No, that's not what I do. That's not what I mean. I only buy collectibles." So when I buy the car, and then he said, I buy a collectible after it has depreciated. So when I buy the car, it's only appreciating as I own it. And I went, is that how billionaires think? I said, man. So just want to show you what Justin is saying and what my billionaire friend is saying. It's a whole different way for y'all to think about money. Okay? He understood. I got to get the debt. I might as well let that debt appreciate on my behalf. Remember that, because you just learned a valuable financial lesson. Okay? Valuable. Kenneth, I saw you unmute your mic earlier. Did you want to say something?
Good morning. You guys start talking my language because I sell cars every day.
Come on then, talk up in here.
Well, I listened to Mr. Justin, and he's totally correct, because here's the problem that I've run into, especially when our African Americans come in. Y'all said 18%. Y'all was being nice, guys. We sell them, and we hit bad credit people at 24%.
Yep.
Now, here's the thing:
21.
24%. 24.
Wow.
But what I do tell people who come in trying to buy BMWs, like I think it was the gentleman, Mr. Fields, said earlier, if they don't listen, there's nothing you could say. Because the first thing I do is tell them, why in the world would you want to buy a BMW? You just came out of a repo. Why are you trying to get into another one? Why are you trying to buy a car where you can't even afford the warranty that goes and should go with the car?
Talk, sir.
So when you talk to them about getting a Chevy Cruze, that's American car, man, I don't understand. They don't I had a young guy work at Home Depot come in and want to buy a Jaguar. His mama sitting right there with him. And I told him, I said, ma'am, could I talk to your son as if he was my son? Because my son is 34, have a 750 credit score, safety inspector, and know he's supposed to have his credit straight. I said, why would you let your son come in who work at Home Depot to get into a Jaguar? I said, what's wrong with driving a Chevrolet Malibu or Chevy Cruze? I said, he's a first-time buyer and you want him to have a Jaguar? I said, my first car was a 1973 Pontiac GTO that I paid $600 for. And I had to pay, hey, Antonio, I had to pay $100 a week till it was paid for. My neighbor. So my daughters was highly disappointed when they graduated and they thought they was getting brand new cars. I said, nope, it ain't happening. Well, Dad, I thought you was going to get us a new car. I said, no, I'm going to go and assist you in getting you a used car and y'all paying for it. So I had to break their little hearts, but they all got used cars and probably on their third car now. But here's the point that I wanted to say. I was 24, 25 when I was trying to make my first million. I think I was $250,000 shy. I bought a lot of cars, and I still love cars, but I bought them to sell them. Because when I got into the dealership business, I started off buying nothing but high-end cars. And of course, that brought me that clientele, like you say, the universe to bring you what you're dealing with. I had dope dealers, guys who was doing wrong, bringing me big money, but when they get in trouble, they have to dump those cars. And I'm still seeing that today, 30 years later, where guys got ankle monitors on their bracelet, court day set, but they still come in trying to buy $50,000 cars. So there is a problem, and education is the problem, because we can educate them if they'll listen. But I thought about what we were talking about here on this call this morning, and I'm going to say this and I'll mute. At my desk, you have 15 minutes. That's the time I allow you to sit. 15 minutes, after 15 minutes, if the couch is available, you'll go sit there. I got to keep that seat open. Same way with what we're trying to do when the gentleman said we can only tell people, but if they don't listen and you can't save the world, it's the same way. I mean, I can educate and try to talk sense to these people, but they still come in wanting to buy cars they can't afford. Land Rovers, well, shocks go out, cost $1,500 for the part, and then another $1,500 for labor. Well, when you start making the money that we're talking about, you don't have car notes. You should own everything you're driving. You got people out here renting Lamborghinis, Chargers, and Mustangs, thousands of dollars per day. So we that are becoming these entrepreneurs, not that we want to do harm to these people, but if they're going to continue to go down that cycle, I work with 3 foreigners. They're all from out of the overseas, and they're here. The auction 20 years ago, we didn't see a lot of that. Now everybody's a car dealer, and they take advantage of the situation because you got people coming in trying to still buy $50,000 cars who should be driving a $10,000 car. So my goal, and what I like about what we're doing with ATS, like the gentleman said, we tell them, if they listen, if they don't, we keep it moving. 15 minutes is what I'm allowing.
I like that.
Well, Antonio,
go ahead, my man.
Something what he was saying recently, a couple of years back, about 2010, 2012, when I was in the mortgage business doing subprime mortgages, money was coming in fast, and people didn't have time to do necessary everyday things because you're in the office it's a rat race. You're in the office from 8 in the morning to 9 at night, cold calling, chasing leads, doing whatever to get checks. But you're getting a lot of money. So during that process, we met a car broker, and he basically was a liaison to high-end clients who didn't want to go or never want to see the dealer. I call him. I say, listen, the guy's name was Rick Abraham Cohen. I call him. I said, listen, I want BMW. Okay. He'll give me 2 days later, I have the choices of everything I want. 3 days later, it'll be sitting either in my driveway, in his office, or brought to my office, ready to go. No questions asked. You sign the contract. Boom. Only thing with that was when the cars are being traded back in, he wasn't trading them back in.
Ooh.
He was washing the titles and selling them back to either the dealership or unsuspecting people who were paying cash for them, the idiots that were paying cash, and they were getting burned. And it turned out to be a $10 million Ponzi scheme. And I got burnt by 2 cars. I had a Porsche Turbo Cayenne S that cost me $150,000, and a Mercedes-Benz SL63 convertible that cost me $160,000. And both of those cars are traded in, and the titles were washed. And I wound up having a $300,000 judgment for him not paying off them cars. But it was me and hundreds of other people. It made the newspapers and everything. And I had to actually sue Porsche for them to take that shit off my credit. And then, later on, he gave me the whole song and dance about he was extorted by the Italian mafia, and that's why he was doing it. And he kind of sucking me in, and I wound up getting locked up. And they gave me $1 million bail for a drug charge, because he knew I used to be a drug dealer, so he baited me in with that. Mm-hmm. And I wound up beating the case and suing the county. It was in Long Island, New York. I wound up suing Nassau County for frivolous charges and winning too. But it's the insecurity of the person, especially in our communities. You want to look like you have the money before you actually have the money. And once that is solved, everything else will be solved. Because when you look at it and you sit down and think for a minute, I'm really gonna pay this much money interest when I can go invest in an apartment building or a business that can pay me the same amount of money to pay for this car?
Damn.
But you want to look like it because your boy down the street got one. The girl gonna like you because she got one. So it all comes down to insecurity.
You're right.
So what the brother was saying in the dealership, I mean, it's a business. But if the person come in insecure and knows what they want, I think a lot of that will be solved. Absolutely.
And if you hear what I said, I'm gonna get Susan, Jerry, and I think Phil. If you think, look at what I said yesterday. I was answering my man Pierre's question, and then when he started talking, I said, "Oh, well, now that I know you talk like this, I can answer you like this." It's the same thing Kendra was saying. All right. Well, listen, you sounding insecure at first. Okay, now that I know you secure, you just wounded. All right, then you got some knowledge. Let me hit you with the knowledge that you was. I can only talk to you how you talk to you. Somebody missed it. I can only talk to you how you talk to you. I can't give you financial advice that you ain't ready for. I can't. I just can't do that. And I will take your money if you want to come in here and be stupid, because I know what to do with your money more than you. So I'm going to go, if fine, you want that, that's fine. Give me your money, get your service, and I will go out there and save the world with your money, because you was going to buy a PlayStation. Go ahead, Chris, then Susan, then Jerry.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that, because insecurity, especially with micros and things like that, before I was forced in an unpredicted situation, trust me, I did not want to get another car, but I had to have something to travel. But yeah, I'm like, a perfect example is like when I went home and I just got my recent car before the mess. I kid you not, like I did that because I needed something that was more, trustworthy, because I travel a lot. And not too long, I kid you not, a family member got another car just because I got one. I was like, why'd you do that? The car was already paid off.
That's what we do. That's, you know what, I'm going to put a pin in and I'll come back to that. Come on, Susan.
Well, the reason baby boomers have the wisdom they do is from the greatest generation. We learned from the greatest generation. These people went through war, the Depression, and everything else. So
banks robbing citizens. Don't forget that part.
Yes.
The Great Depression was started by the banks.
Right. So we grew up under their influence and lived our lives accordingly. And I've shared about my mentors, my aunt and uncle in Massachusetts, my great Aunt Mary and Uncle Charlie. And they came to mind when we were talking here about the cars. because I spent 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s with them. They had 7 adopted children, and all this I didn't understand until really coming here. Their 7 adopted children were from all walks of life and different issues that they have and still have, that I stay in touch with every single one of them. But their home was a beautiful home. It was 21 rooms with 7 bathrooms and lily ponds and the clay tennis courts and the horse stables. And it was John Hancock's home. And so they had his original school books with his John Hancock signature. Things they found in the barns, like an original 13-star flag, things that are now in museums that they donated to museums. But their home, she taught me everything about antiques, but it was freezing in their house. He kept the temperature so low because to conserve. I mean, they're millionaires and conserving on electricity. I was always cold there, but they got used to it. And just conserving in every single way possible. I mean, we would shop. That's when I learned of Filene's Basement. We would go to Filene's in downtown Boston. I mean, now you see the stores, Filene's Basements, all over the country. Well, we shopped in the original Filene's Basement, which was downstairs, where you just try on things. They're in piles. And I mean, they could buy anything. But, that's how they live. That's how I learned to be conservative and shop like that. And they had the old Mercedes. The old Mercedes that the front seat was like a couch. But when we would go antiquing, and I learned everything about antiques from my Aunt Mary, they had an antique shop too off the side of the place, and always had an antique shop. But she would say, no, we back in the car. We don't want them to see the Mercedes because then they'll put higher prices on things. So, we went antiquing and learned all those things. So I learned so much from them about being conservative, about people, about accepting all kinds of people, about helping the underprivileged, about all children are special. Doesn't matter if they have special needs or not. And so all those things I did learn from them. But the funny story is the Mercedes, and they always had the older Mercedes, which they could turn around and make a lot of money on because they were antiques. But that's what we drove around in, and they were so comfortable. And then, of course, they had a big van, like a bus when everybody had to go somewhere together.
Wow.
Yeah. But the greatest generation, that's why us baby boomers are the way we are, at least most of us.
And the largest transfer of wealth is happening right now between baby boomers to, the generation downward, because you got the most money. You got the most money, and you know what to do with it. But again, to your point, you were taught. I mean, that's a rough time to be raised after the Great Depression, to be raised by parents who can't trust their government, who don't know if food is going to be available, the threat of a Cold War, the threat of not Cold War yet, threat of World War again. It's just crazy. This is a crazy time to be alive, especially after all those years of plenties in the 20s. Which sounds... Mm-hmm.
Here's another thing to add on. Like, I've had family members who were taught, now I know everybody's going to be like, that's insane, were taught that it is okay to have 2 cars just in case the other one breaks down. I read your expression on your face.
Because I remember I told you I'm gonna put a pin in that. So that's 2 pins I got on you now. I'm in with you because you taught like me. Go ahead, Jerry. I remember seeing you unmute your mic. Because me and Chris come from country teaching. Lord have mercy.
That's cool. No, I'm right there with you, and that's the beauty of this setting here is the education that you can't get anywhere else. You can't go somewhere and get this type of an education. Just even talking about what we're talking about this morning, you know, and I've owned Mercedes and BMWs, and you know, people don't look at that purchase as a business decision. They look at it from an emotional aspect, and they never take into consideration, you know, things like maintenance cost. Even the car note is only half the equation, right? And especially when you look at expensive cars and exotic cars, and I mean, if you're driving a Porsche, you might be looking at, you know, $2,000 to $5,000 for a maintenance visit to your dealer, and not get more than an oil change in reality. And people don't have that mindset, and I think that's what's really good about this. If you take this type of an education, you can develop that mindset that you know that you just can't, and that's what's going to make everything else work. It's that mindset.
Absolutely. I mean, Justin and Kenneth are self-made millionaires. Nobody get them nothing. They had to, you know, fight and lose. Listen, guys, you know, I don't know why people think you don't get to millions by winning. I'm not sure what has happened in media that makes y'all think that winning works. Winning ain't never taught me nothing but to be arrogant, superstitious, and comfortable. It's all winning ever taught me. Okay? Losing and then walking past those losses made me a winner. Don't ever forget that. I don't know what we out here teaching y'all, but these motivation speakers need to stop, because winning comes from losing only. I'm well with money. I don't drive a car right now. I get driven everywhere I go. You understand? Gonna take good care of me. Go. I got a perfectly healthy car I don't even touch, because I just decided I wanted to be a billionaire. Y'all don't even know. Deanna knows. I just bought a Maserati. Don't even worry about it. I ain't gonna show you right now. Okay? And just like Justin said, I waited a couple of years, Justin, let that joint appreciate, copped it. Okay? I just got I would tell you, but it don't even matter. Okay? Just know I just got a 6-figure car for way less than 6 figures. Let me just say that. Okay?
Congratulations.
Appreciate you. But what Justin was like, hey man, go ahead and do it. What our conversations. But you get what I'm saying. I just did that. I ain't driving it. I ain't doing nothing. Okay? No need for me right now at this moment. That time will come. Let me take these 2 pens out of Chris. Chris, it could be summed up in this here. This is how, and I know Kenneth is going to agree with this. This is how they got me on the 19% interest. That's how they got me. I got me because I went in there and I said, Kenneth, man, that's what I want, man. I don't know what I want. You hear that? I don't know what I want. Clearly, I ain't did no research. I'm looking for a car. Please lead me. You see what I'm doing? Okay. And I'm looking to pay around $350 a month. Kenneth, please tell them how bad that is. Please, sir. Please tell them.
And you get a few people who listen. Let me share something. I think I like Mr. What's the gentleman name you mentioned out of New York?
Justin.
Mr.
Yeah.
Justin.
Oh yeah, he's a good
They
guy.
laughed at me because a Bentley came through the salvage auction, and the person who owned the car apparently had somebody steal it and break the steering column. I used to do business with an adjuster who would call me with good deals. I said, they don't want the car because the steering column got popped. I said, man, I grew up in the hood. That happened all the time. Give me that car. So here you is with $100,000 Bentley that you can get for like $40,000 because somebody don't want the steering column. So deals like that make sense, yes. Because I'm always looking for deals. I mean, in this business, they teach us how to buy the cars. But all I'm saying to this, if people in this group want vehicles, I can get good vehicles and make sure they make sense for you if you need my help. Thank you.
Oh yeah, well, no, we'll definitely. Nice. We'll definitely use you. For sure, because we listen. Everybody know around here we do group economics, right? And we need to have somebody we can trust in every market. What's a market? A group of people wanting to buy stuff. He's in the car market. You understand? Justin is in the real estate and the e-commerce market. I'm in the online university market. You got to do what you got to do to get this stuff done. Chris, did you see what I did, man? I told them, like, my knowledge base was just make sure you can afford the car note. That is not sound financial advice, ladies and gentlemen. They should have taught me, make sure you make money when you spend your money. It's what they should have taught me. I didn't learn that until later, okay? I basically went and said, hey, can you give me the car that gives me the 19% interest rate that I can afford, please? It's basically what I said. Basically what I ain't even think. You know what? I didn't even say this part, and I bought a lemon and I was in the Army. And I went right off the Army post, okay? So you already know what happened to me. They saw a private 1st and the 15th check, guaranteed. Car broken. The transmission went out in 6 months, kid. And I had to go to Citibank to get a $2,000 loan just to fix the transmission. So now I got 2 notes.
You know, Antonio, I got a friend and business partner, and on shop number 4, and one of them is a maintenance shop. If you realize the people that buy some of the cars don't know how to buy the warranty with it or the extended warranty with it, or even if they buy the aftermarket warranty, some of the aftermarket warranties, if you buy it wrong, they don't even cover genuine parts.
Nope. Mine was as is.
So you buying a Maserati with a warranty from Maserati, that's cool. But if you buy an aftermarket warranty, which a lot of dealerships are making it kind of like they're sliding it under the table with your deal now. They'll say, oh, you have a certification of $5,000, and it might be from Mickey Mouse warranty that don't even really cover your thing, but that's how they're making their money. Mm-hmm. And the parts that these warranty companies give you, if they approve you, because they have the ability to deny you your claim too, is not even Maserati parts. It's the next best thing. I hear the stories in the shop all the time, and it is crazy. So you got to not only learn how to buy the car, but buy it with the right warranty too. Because you don't want hassle with the fix of the car. You just want to drive it into service or drive it into your local service guy, let them pay for it, and then go about your business.
No doubt. That's like the number 6 law of gold, according to Richest Man in Babylon. Insure thy dwelling, or something like that. It basically says put insurance and warranties on your large purchases. That's what Justin is talking about. Okay, that's what Justin is talking about. Yeah. You can say something. We out of here in about 2 minutes.
All right, cool. Well, I will tell you right now, I'm fighting my tail off to get back how I was, because that's how I was able to drop that big wall sum, because I wasn't worried about all this now. So trust me, I'm more determined more than ever to get back how I was.
You don't have to get back how you was, because now
better.
No doubt. I'm not even making correction with that. I'm trying to show you association. You're around too many millionaires now. You understand? See what you're trying to. Let me end. You just put a pin in that. I'm gonna end right there. Susan, go ahead, because I want everybody to hear the last things I'm gonna say.
Oh, it brought me to the very last vehicle that my uncle, so conservative with his money, with the 7 adopted children, they chose at the end to go into a beautiful place. I went and visited him there. It was in New Hampshire. That, they were served the white, with the linens, and there was the one side where you could be in your apartment. Then there was a side, it's swimming pool and all kinds of exercise and things. And then there was the side for the long term, if you were dementia, things like that. Well, at the very end, my dear Aunt Mary had to go over to that side. My Uncle Charlie was just beside himself trying to see her. Now his last ride, He could have bought a brand new scooter to scoot over way over to the other side of that campus to see her. Nope, he wasn't going to pay that money for that vehicle. So he rented and borrowed from a buddy there so that he could ride that scooter every day over to my Aunt Mary and give her a Hershey kiss every day. And he made sure he did that, and right up until he passed away a couple weeks before her.
Yeah.
So right at the very end, he didn't spend the money on the expensive vehicles.
Yeah, you know what? You remind me to say something, so I'm going to say three things now. Speaking of, I'm only saying this to young parents. This isn't for everybody, okay? Especially men if you're out there. So I got the Maserati. It's not, you can't see it yet because I'm not showing you. I'll show you pictures, but nevertheless. Then Monica has this fancy Mercedes Benz, okay? Now, the reason why I haven't pulled up in the Maserati is because I've got 3 wonderful kids, and they have a wonderful, wonderful mother, okay? And there's no way in hell I'm going to let, and I'm just talking to my people, my black kids, see they daddy driving better than they mama. Well, I wish I had somebody in this place, okay? All right? So I told, you understand? So I said, Monica, you selling that? You understand? Because now, before they ever see the Maserati, okay, I literally got it, put it at a friend's house. It's just sitting there, okay? It's just sitting there. They're going to see this super duper class Benz first for about 2 or 3 months. Then daddy going to pull up in that Maserati. Let that be a lesson to some of you, okay? Let that be a lesson. You got to control the images that your kids see. Now, I'll give you the 4 points that I was going to give, but when millionaires start giving out financial advice, I'm going to just go ahead and let that roll so y'all get that, okay? I would go stop the Holy Spirit for doing whatever was happening around this joint with financial lessons. But Vanessa was like, wait a minute now, let them keep talking, Antonio. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Let me go ahead. Let that knowledge come on out there because you can't find it in books. Chris, back to you. Chris is the wisest young man that I know. That's also Chris's problem, okay? Listen to me, y'all. No, he's 29 and he's 40. And it's wisdom. I'm not talking about knowledge. It's just wisdom. It's wisdom. He's got good wisdom. He's got great manners. He is perfect substance. But I need to say something to all y'all, okay? Your knowledge is not good enough. That's your problem. Listen to what Chris said. Man, I'm getting out. I'm gonna get out this situation. That's why I'm getting out. Forget what you getting out of. Okay, that ain't how you get nowhere. You get to know Kenneth, and if you empty your cup, Kenneth will pour something in it. You get to know Justin, and if you empty your cup, Justin will pour something in it. Einstein says it this way, Michelle. Man cannot fix a problem that man's consciousness has created. Every problem you got, your consciousness created. So if you want to fix it, you got to use a higher consciousness, and it ain't gonna never be yours. That's why you need coaching and mentoring and all that stuff. So don't try to fix it, Chris. It's already fixed by association. There's no way in hell that I'm going to let you suffer in that terrible situation and be next to me. Let me tell you something. I can't have that poison around me. You too close. Chris, you got too close access to me. You got to get that off you. I'm trying to help somebody.
Makes
What'd you
a
say?
lot of sense.
Yeah, you too close, man. Get that poison off you. You ain't got to worry. Shit, I'm going to take care of it. You ain't got to worry about it. Get that off you. Shoot. Move. Because you're too close to me to have that poison on you.
You better stop preaching, boy. You
Come
better
on,
stop
man.
preaching. Come on, boy.
That just also hit the light bulb on me. That's probably why like, I deter some other people that ain't attract the same amount of energy.
That's it, man. You know what? That's what I think Phil was saying. Listen, don't even try to convert their energy. Don't convert energy. Energy will never be created, never be destroyed. Let them have that energy. Just go find the energy that matches yours. That's it. That's why I just saw Law in chat. Yeah, man, come on. Listen, ain't none of y'all hanging next to me ain't gonna be broke. And we don't have that. I can't do that. I can't. It's two different energies, Carol. You understand? Carol's, some super spiritual Ayurveda stuff. She understand. I can't have that around me. You got to be with the stream, with the flow. So just last words. Listen, y'all. Arshia, just find somebody with a higher consciousness and empty your cup. I promise you, Lanita will take care of you if you let her. Promise you, Ken, to go take care of you if you let him. But if you know everything, come on, help me I need a baby boomer right here now. If you know everything, Vanessa can't tell you nothing. You finna go out there and do all the mistakes she did. And she been trying to tell you don't do that. She went through that stuff so she can tell you how not to do it. Okay? Your consciousness is your problem. You are in your way. Tap into my consciousness. And everybody around me, that's how you do it. Sugar, last words on you.
Before we get off, I just want to thank everybody for their prayers, their concerns.
I'm so glad I let you talk. Yes.
And the text messages on Friday. My niece is at home. She's resting, but it was an adverse reaction to the medication that her doctor had prescribed for her that put her in a stroke type mode. So again, thank you very much. It's awesome to have a family like I have with y'all. Thank you again.
Amen. Well, I tell you what.
Appreciate it.
I'm sure this is my black culture coming out because I don't trust doctors, but I'm pretty sure it was a stroke. They'll tell you stroke-like, or they'll tell you got pre-diabetes when you actually got it. It's just not enough for them to put you on the medicine that they want to put you on. So we're going to be blessed that your niece recovered and is well at home. Everybody, thank you for your time. I appreciate you. You got the 4 visions. I'll give you the 4 step-by-step plans tomorrow. Antonio T. Smith Jr., you can plant better. You can dominate. Love you more. All right, everybody. Y'all have a great one. Thank you to these millionaires and everybody else on these calls.
Yes.
Y'all have a good one.
Thank you.
Do you know how many files your employees have uploaded, downloaded, emailed, airdropped, slacked, or shared via Google Drive today? A lot of that data has left your organization, and you don't even know it. Visit code42.com to learn how Insider prevents data exfiltration.
At FedEx, we're making reusable packaging our priority because Earth is our priority. Our goal is to be carbon neutral by 2040. We call it Priority Earth. FedEx, where now meets next.